Bible Talk Wednesday.
How did you watch Star Wars The Clone Wars?
This is Bible Talk. With your host, Leader the Only One.
Your first loser.
I am closer to be better, to be the best, okay? So cut me some slack.
John Fumbly.
Boba Fett. Attack mode.
Yep, I see that.
Attack mode.
Yep,
Attack mode.
yep.
I'm in attack mode right now.
Adrian A.I. Indalos.
I'm a man. I fix things. Cook barbecue and fix things.
This is Bible Talk.
Well. Hello, everybody. What's up, fam? What's up? How are y'all doing tonight? My name is literally the only one. I'm your host with the most, and we welcome you to Bible Talk One Man Short. Nonetheless, we got the duo, my one and only, Mr. John Fumbly. How are you, baby?
I'm great. Pump up the roof.
Pump up the roof with hype energy.
Yes, all of the hype. I am oozing the hyped energy.
It appears to be so today, sir.
Indeed. Good sir.
We're missing the co-star of this show, Mr. Adrian Indalos. He's been out a couple of weeks, and yet again we're gonna have him another week probably off where he's not here. The man's about to get married, bro. Let's go, dude. June's coming up. That's wedding date, and obviously the season for him is a little bit hectic in the middle of actual work, and so he's like, "Oh, wait, fam, wait."
Hold on. Lauren, can I borrow your glasses?
You
Wife,
need to
can
be
I
able
borrow
to
your
see
glasses
this.
real quick?
We need to be
Thank
able
you.
to see this, fam. We need to be able to see this.
Whoa!
Yep.
Look at that!
Yep.
Wow! There you go. We can have him back.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Adrian Indalos, what's up, baby?
Oh, I thought you
How are you,
froze. I'm not even gonna lie.
Nah,
I
I'm
saw
good.
it. I saw the little movement. I saw it.
Have you all seen that TikTok where they're doing this like conference call for work, and then the guys present this like, okay, so we're ready to start. Okay, so here you go, guys. I got the budget, and in the budget we set, and it just stops, and then the guy right next to us like, oh, okay, I guess it froze up, but I know the project's pretty good, so I'm gonna continue. Like he was saying, the budget is a little bit lower than last year because whenever we did the and they were just all free, but you can see like they have TVs on the background, and the game was still on. Or this was so funny when the guy was blinking as he was frozen. It was super funny.
That's
That's
goofy.
funny.
Adrian, we are so happy to have you, bro. How
I'm
are
here.
you, man?
I'm
very
back.
happy.
I am surviving. You guys, there's a lot going on in my life. I sincerely
It certainly
apologize for
does.
not being here. Between my brother's senior year and all the events going on, being drum major, right, for his high
Mhm.
school marching band. He's got like so many award ceremonies, final performances, senior night, all this other stuff. That, and I am 72 days from getting married. Down to the wire. So I know there's just a lot going on right now. So I'm in survival mode, just trying to take one day at a time, and letting Jesus take the wheel right now.
Amen. That's all it's about, baby. I'm just happy to have you, bro. We don't get to have you next week. Hey, we have you today, and that's all that matters, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
glad that you're here, bud. We love you, and we're excited for you too. So, yo, okay, fam, how are y'all doing? Chat, welcome. Say hi. Drop a hi in the chat, bro. Let us know that you're here. Welcome to Bible Talk, everybody. This is what we do, y'all. Okay, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we get together. Me and this amazing gentleman, good looking. All wedded or soon to be wedded. So we're not single. We're taking. So too bad, even though we're looking good and feeling good. We're taking, okay?
Feeling
taken,
spicy.
okay?
Feeling spicy.
Taken, though. Nonetheless, we get together. We get to talk about gaming. We get to chill and have a great time. But most importantly, we get to talk about the Bible because we're super passionate about it. We love the book. It impacts our daily lives. It impacts the people that surround us. And we're super passionate about it. And we want to share it with ya. So welcome. This is what we do. Just quick reminder to everybody: we really don't fight in this podcast show, you name it, whatever this is, stream, whatever you want to call it. We just share what we think about the Bible and what we believe, and sometimes we do kind of answer some tough questions from time to time. We just really don't argue with you. This is not a debate platform or anything like that. This is more like your live podcast where you can participate, and we encourage you to participate because we love to hear from you guys. So welcome everybody, welcome. Before we get started, we always do this every single week. We go through a little bit of good news from all of us, because we live a world where there's a war in Europe, where there's COVID, where there's gas prices going too high, this and the other. So we don't like bad news here. We like good news because God is good. So let's start on that. John, put you in spot, bro. Hit me up with some good news, bro. What you got, baby? What you got?
Well, it was up and down news. Well, it
Okay.
starts low and it ends good. So earlier this week, I had this like just really severe pain in my swallow tube. Like just really, really bad. Like I've had like what's the thing where it burns? The acid acid reflux. I've had acid reflux before, but it was like 1,000 times worse, right? So we go and we buy to CVS and we buy like this stomach relief stuff. And it turns out it was just like really, really severe acid reflux, which I was really surprised about it. But it's gone now. So there's that.
Boom, bro. Let's go. That's good news, dude.
What's up?
Oh, Kyle's here, bro. Kyle's here. Kyle, go to bed. Just wanted to hop and say, y'all have a great stream. Love you, brother. Hi to the voices as well.
What up?
Love you, Kyle. You're the best. Thank you so much for
What's up,
stopping
Kyle?
by.
He is
What's
the
up?
best.
What's up? Adrian, good news, which I'm sure you're full of it, actually. Or
I mean,
at
I've
least
got like
expectation.
weeks of good
Yeah,
news.
hit us up, bro.
Let's see
Hit us up.
here.
What you got?
I got two bits of good news, I guess. One,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is me holding a lemur, or actually it's a lemur just like hanging out on my shoulder. I don't know if it'll focus.
Are
but-
you for real?
Yeah. Follow me
So-
on Instagram and Facebook, and you should
I
be
do
able
follow
to see
you on
it. But
Instagram. I didn't
Yeah, but
see any such thing.
yeah, so I shot a wedding this past Saturday at this ranch, and they had everything from lemurs, a sloth, right? My fiance got to cuddle with a sloth. They had like a zebra, they had like an alligator pen,
yeah.
horses, right? The bride and groom took pictures with the horse. Like it was probably like one of the most unique wedding experiences I've ever had. And I was able to be there to capture it all, and it was tons of fun. And I also got to buddy up with the owner, and she wants to bring me on for some special projects that she has lined up. I'm not allowed to say, but it has something to do with a giraffe.
I
just
love
say that.
giraffes.
Yeah, so
Bro,
you don't know
actually-
what the venue is, right? So it's they're bringing a giraffe into their wedding event space, and
I have a
it's
really
pretty
important
legit.
question.
Go for it.
What does a guy have to do to get giraffe steak?
Oh, snap.
Well, I like my
Go to-
giraffes alive.
Yeah.
So
Right,
What's wrong with
right,
you?
right.
What's wrong with you, John?
But like giraffe steak, though, right? Like, come
Right.
on, like,
Have you
can't
had
tell me
it?
you've never wondered. Okay, like
I mean, I don't know. I guess you can ask Joe. What's his face? The Tiger King. I'm sure he can hook you up with some.
he's still alive.
I don't know.
I thought he
maybe?
died. I thought they all
maybe, I
died.
guess.
I haven't watched it. Well, maybe I
Uh,
haven't watched it.
I've never seen it at all. But
Me
I
neither.
don't watch it either.
But,
I
Me
don't know.
neither.
anyways, my other bit of good news. It's actually gaming related, and I think it's really cool. So this is our cake topper for the wedding.
Bro.
That is so sick.
And so it says Mr. and Mrs. A&M, right? And it's got like the girl holding a book because Mallory is a huge book nerd. And it's a dude holding a PlayStation controller. Like,
Oh my God,
Let's
that's
go.
the coolest thing ever.
It's
Where
so
you guys
legit, look
find
at that.
these things, bro. That's awesome.
and the funny thing is that we ordered it from Etsy, and I guess it came all the way from Ukraine. And I said,
Whoa.
thank you, Russians, for allowing my cake topper to arrive
There
amidst
you
your,
Don't forget to add Putin.
operation.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing my cake topper to arrive from Ukraine. So shout out to Ukrainians, we stand with you.
Yeah, we love you. And shout out to the Russians that need God more than anything. So
Amen.
it's to them too. Okay, boys, my little bit of good news. I guess my tennis season started, which is pretty amazing. I played a singles tournament this weekend, a UTR tournament this weekend, and I took it home. Won the whole thing, so that was pretty nice. So
Woo!
tennis stuff is really, really good, and I am pumped because tomorrow is opening day for baseball, and my Braves, the World Series defending champions, play. So I'm really, really excited about that. So some good stuff, mate. Some good stuff. Simple living, but hey, we count our blessings, don't we all, boys? Don't we all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boys, well, and girls, and whoever you're out there, welcome to the show. I got a fidget. I just broke something.
Is that a
Hold on.
brush?
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys the coolest thing ever. Okay.
Watch this.
I
be so,
literally
like,
broke everything.
overhyped.
Okay, watch. This is a brush. Okay, a little tiny brush.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So you
Yeah.
can, dust stuff things. It's made
Yeah.
for the keyboard, so the
Okay.
height of the
Oh, I seen
keyboard.
that.
So you can go through the keyboard like this instead of
Yes.
blowing it, right? You
Mhm,
just go
Mhm.
and then it comes with this little handy dandy thing, which
Okay.
is a keycap remover. So I can hit a key, pull it out, and I have a keycap. So if I want to clean it,
Oh.
but hold up. You can open it,
Okay.
and now you have
Okay.
this tiny little broom, which is
Eyelash
brush.
brush. Thank you, not broom, brush. Thank you.
It's a
Appreciate it.
toothbrush.
Which is
Toothbrush.
made for AirPods. So you take your
What?
AirPods out, and then you can clean pretty good and get down there and pretty good. And
I like
you
the sound effects. The sound
Oh yeah,
effects is
sound
really,
effects
really
are
what's
everything.
telling me right
Okay,
now.
yeah, for sure. And
Might
then
as
you
well
can take
be one of those as seen on TV shows.
you
I
can
know,
take
it
this
really
thing
is.
off.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
It's a knife.
It's
It's a shank for
It's
when you get
shank.
put in jail.
A shiv.
It's a
Because they're
shiv.
different. They're different. They are different. Is it a pen?
It looks like a pen, but the thing is, what it does is,
It pops pimples.
it kind of actually, you have
What?
earwax all over your stuff, so you can
Yeah.
take out the earwax and then like remove it. And it has a tiny little brush on the side that is hard, so you can brush off your earwax off of, because this part's going inside of your ears. So it's a whole cleaner kind of thing that you can utilize for a lot of things. That's how I utilize them myself, but it's super dope. And so hence I'll be fidgeting with it through the whole show. So welcome to the show, guys. I gotta fidget something. That's what we're gonna be seeing
And
today.
if you order now, use discount code leader only one
for
to
2%
save 10
discount.
to save 2% at
Yes,
checkout.
big deal.
Buy
to-
2, get a third one at half off.
That's correct. That is correct.
But
Deal
wait,
of
there's
the
more.
century.
Order in the next 10 minutes and you get 32 ounces of giraffe steak.
Boom.
Yes, I'm on it. Give it to
He's
me
on
right
it.
now. Give me the thing.
Okay, fam.
Take
Let's
my
get this.
money. I need
let's
my
get
money.
You
this
gotta,
show-
you gotta order 3 of them in the next 10 minutes, John.
I can't.
Okay,
You
fam. Let's
accept
get this.
raisins as payment.
Let's get this show on the road. We ready, boys, or what?
Oh, I say
Let's
so.
do it.
Always.
Okay, guys. So I gotta do this every single time before we start, because this eventually will be a podcast. Will be on Spotify, iTunes, and whatever other places. So here we go. Welcome everybody to Bible Talk. This is season 2, episode 20. We're on our love series. This is part 6. And this is your host, Leader the Only One, at Leader the Only One everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch and Instagram. Welcome to follow me. My duo, the one and only John's Fumbly. John, how are you doing today? Can you give us your ads, please?
I'm doing great. I'm John's Fumbly at John's Fumbly.
Everywhere or just specific places?
Everywhere.
Okay, everywhere and everywhere.
Everywhere that I want you
Um,
to see.
Okay, there you go. The co-star of the show, Mr. Adrian Indolos. What's up, baby?
What's up?
What are you at?
So I am, you can find me on my website, Adrian, Adrean, Indolos, INDOLOS.com. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok are my main ones. I also have a Twitter, but I'm not really on it. But you can find me on Instagram, TikTok at Adrian_I. That's ADREAN_I. And if you have any photo inquiries or just want to text me, I have a text line just dedicated to, don't call it. You can just text me at 214-865-8348. That's Adrian Interlos at 214-865-8348. Back to you, leader.
The next voice of the Star Wars movies announcing the storyline of Obi-Wan Kenobi and
Dude, that'd be so
Grogu.
legit.
Welcome
so
everybody.
legit.
Welcome. So let's get started. Let's talk about a little bit of what we have been talking about over the last few weeks. I'm gonna do the recap because the both of y'all are. Mr. Adrian has not been present, and John is probably the worst person in the history of ever to do
Pretty bad at
recaps.
it.
So
It's completely useless. Absolutely useless.
No. John is you, Adrian. On the other hand, you're great.
It's true. It's true.
Now,
Which
if
means
I,
I'm useless.
Unless you
Yeah,
need a body removed, then I got you.
well, also a mid
So-
laner in League of Legends and also a Valkyrie in Apex, I'll take that. Everything
for
else,
those of you who don't know what John does, that would come off, slightly, worrisome. But
Yep.
for those in the know, like that's
I could
that's
be
just a
talking about
normal
an
thing.
auto body shop. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go
Like-
with that. I mean, there's lots of those in Florida, right?
There
Um,
actually is.
Fast and Furious, too,
Anyway.
baby.
Get wrecked,
anyway,
Adrian.
Too fast, too furious.
I'm too fast and he's too furious.
part 6 of our love series, you guys. This is what we've been doing. We were talking about love and all its sense and the form. So I'm bringing out my notes because it's important. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Number 1, first episode, we talk about what is love. We read 1 Corinthians 13, which is the chapter of the book that talks about love, which is amazing. You can have faith, hope, but above all things, love is the main thing. We talk about how love is literally everything, how love is unfailing, how we're supposed to love one another as per commandment in the Old and New Testament. Then in our second episode, we talk about how love is this binding material that puts things together, almost like this glue, which is awesome. We should never stop loving. We also talk about how God is love, which is awesome, which is really important, and how he first loved us, which is amazing. Through episode 3, 4, and 5, we talk about number 1, how to love one another, which is a big deal. We'll also talk about what love does for us in the context of relationships, both physically and spiritually, which I think it was super dope. We talk about good stuff in there. We also talk about honor and how honoring one another is part of loving one another. We also talk about sacrificial love, right? The Bible verse said, it's this kind of sacrificial love, like it's like your friends, bro. You're willing to sacrifice your life for your friends and stuff, which is pretty amazing. We also talk about money and love, which is an interesting relationship, same as family and love. Which today actually our episode is going to be strictly on loving your husband and your wife and loving one another and the love in that kind of structure, which is pretty cool. And we also talk about conflict and love, how you can fight it, but at the end, love is so much more powerful and can get things figured out, and hence why this is so important. So are we ready to jump into reading, fam? Bless you. Oh my god, that was a huge
hear it?
sneeze. No, you
Oh.
muted yourself a perfect time, but I saw it on
Thank
the
God.
screen. It looked like you kicked all the way back.
I think Lauren might be pregnant because my sneezes have just been so explosively loud.
Yeah.
lately. Get it?
Welcome.
It's a dad joke because dads sneeze really loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I get
didn't-
it.
Adrian doesn't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
It's okay,
She's
Adrian.
not. She's not pregnant. Are you? She's not. Are you? No, she's not pregnant.
Verified? I don't
We're
know.
about to do a
She won't look at
reveal
me.
here, an exclusive on Bible Talk.
Oh, she gave me a look.
Okay. Let's get. Are we ready to read it? John, or what?
Yeah.
What's the deal here, fam? Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
ready.
to do this. I forgot about this.
What?
We gotta
Oh.
give a shout out to.
No. I have it. Ephesians
do have
5:25. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm there.
wait. We gotta give it a shout
Oh,
out to where
yes.
credit's due, man. Shout out to Easter, the one and only app that we utilize for this show. We like, or I like Easter, and I use it for my devotional, for church, for absolutely everything in my life. I wouldn't be able to live without Easter at this point. These guys are amazing. They do this for free. You can buy a version it's just you donating really money to them, because the pro version and the other version really are the same. It's just you being able to give. Either way, what they do is they have this parallel reading, Bibles that you can read parallel one to another. And the big reason why it's so important to me is because my English sucks, second language. So I get access to reading a Bible that I can understand a little bit better in English. In my particular case, the ISB is the most or the easiest one for me to read. But we also get access to the King James Version with the Strong Dictionary. The Strong Dictionary gives us access to the original Greek, Hebrew, and Aramis, which, by the way, I'll share something with you guys later that I found out this week, which is pretty cool about Hebrew, which is amazing. And we get to access the actual words because friggin' English sucks when it comes down to putting in words and trying to describe things with one word. A very simple example, love, right? You can love your car. I can love my guys. I can love my wife and my dog. It's the same word. And Hebrew, Greek, and Aramis, which is what the Bible was written, there's a bazillion words, not a bazillion, but at least multiple to describe those things because they're completely different. Okay, enough of that. John, get us ready. Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to go back to the ISV. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. So we're not gonna so interesting here because we're gonna go back and forth, but we're gonna start with 25, then we're gonna go back to 22. But let's focus just on 25 first, okay?
Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her.
Oh boy. John, I'm gonna start with you actually. Tell us a little bit about how what is the meaning of this kind of love, and what do you mean Christ give himself for the church?
I mean, it's probably agape love, right? Which is the way Christ loves us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we would have to go and look up the definition of love again, which would be the love chapter. But you have to interact with your wife in a sacrificial way. You know what I mean? Oh, you saw a car back there. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you have to have sacrificial love for your wife just as Christ did for us, right? So allowing them to make their own choices, allowing them to choose things, even if it's not something that you want, right? Because Christ does that with us. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty broad. I mean, I prefer to go read that love chapter and then just kind of
but we can't do that because we have two separate topics here. We have the husbands and then we have the wives. Then probably we can talk about both. But want to make sure that we separate it because otherwise the author could have gone and said, hey, bro, love one another.
Right.
To the both. But they're completely different. And we're going to read 22 here shortly. Well, so let's focus on the husband first.
I gotcha. So the fact that we're talking about husbands and wives, so it's kind of, it also follows the line of authority, right? So Christ is the head of the church, and then the church is, right, so it's Christ, men, and then the women, right? And so the authority of Christ flows downward in that pattern, right? So the way that God loves us is the way that we're supposed to love those that we're in charge of, right? And I don't think that that's just women. I think that's also just people around us in our lives, right? Like our children. We're supposed to love our children with sacrificial love, right? Obviously, it's a different relationship from your wife, but you know, it's we're still supposed to love them the way that Christ loves us. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's exclusively to husbands and wives. I think God gives us a perfect example of how to love everyone.
Yes.
Look at this rock I found, guys. So look, it's like an old iron. It's like really heavy, but it's got like a hole in the top. So I think it might be a hammer, a cast iron hammer that's withered away in the weather of existence. Isn't that neat? It's really heavy.
Like the wood itself rotted away, and you still
have
that.
Yeah, it's just like a hammer. It could be Indian too. Probably not though. So I thought that was neat. I have this awesome Muppet mug. Look at that.
You're gonna have so much fun editing this audio later.
Oh my god, it's gonna be the best.
What happened to Leader?
I don't know. He probably.
I abandoned you guys. I got bored out of the explanation.
Okay. John
Sorry,
was
guys.
I didn't
picking up
have any more
random things
content,
on his
Leader.
desk. John was picking up random things on his desk and selling it.
I
to
got a
us.
plate. I got a mug. Like I don't
I-
got anything else, bro.
I could hear it. I was laughing as because I
Oh
stepped
my
down with my
gosh.
headphones. Sorry, fam. I had to step down for a second from the show. My bad. But Adrian saved the day. I do agree though. I do agree.
I did all the work, bro. I
You
did all
did
the
all the
work.
work. You did-
Okay.
I
You
do
can see
have
my anger veins.
I do have to agree. You said something, um, two things that I think were important that you highlighted. Number one is, even though this is directed to the husbands, it does not mean that this is a symbiotic relationship, right? The husband and the wife is something that they feed for one another, and this love has to be together. But also at the same time, there's kind of like those roles that we have to play, right? And I agree. I think it's, you know, we're so equal yet so different, right? I always go back to the Christian when it comes down to those things and go as like, hey man, why didn't God create two males or two females? Right? Is one of those things. And by the way, this might be a controversial topic for some of the audience, but I always wonder is that hey, God could have made two males or two females, right? If that's what's best for the creation, he would have done that, and he didn't. He understood that for his creation and for his vision, a male and a female were needed, and they're supposed to work together. And there's a whole list of that. And we're not talking about marriage right now. I just want to say that I think we live right now in a world that is very confused, that wants to give the same roles to the woman that the man have, and vice versa. And to be honest, man, this is not how God created us. Otherwise, again, he would have created two males or two females, right? We're equal yet different, with different responsibilities and different roles to fulfill. And so it hurts me a little bit sometimes when I see things, you know, the swimmer, right? The swimmer that changed his sex to a female. He was top 500 in the nation in college for swimming, and started now swimming on the girl stuff, and now she's number one in, or she sorry whatever, number one in the nation for women's, right? And then people fight for equality and stuff, and I think that's actually hurting and devaluating both genders, because the stuff that I'm supposed to do for a woman, which is to protect her, defend her, embrace her, and stuff, it goes away if the woman is the same and she can do that for herself, right? And same thing for the woman. She's supposed to be supportive, submissive, loving, and amazing. But if she's the same as the guy and supposed to lead and be the head of the household and all this stuff, then that kind of dilutes. So I feel like we've lost a lot of actually what we're supposed to be, that makes things beautiful in our day, and that hurts me, man. I don't know about you guys. So sorry, it's a little bit of a rant here, but I do believe this is the reason why marriages are down, why divorces are up, why parents are absent in relationships. Especially specifically dads. And so I don't know, man. I think this is a serious problem that it could be addressed with love. Love can fix all these things. So hence what we're talking about it. Anyway, that's my rant. Do you guys have anything to say about this, or can we read the wife stuff?
Well, I mean, the
Um,
only thing I wanted to add was if John could read the next two verses, because it kind of
Yeah,
goes into a
yeah.
little bit more detail of like what it means from the husband's point of view, like what
Mhm.
the word says of how to love your wife, as the Messiah loved the church, and this is how,
Mhm.
the Messiah did it. So,
Mhm.
John, take it away.
all right. I love it. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. So, her being the church, that he
Mhm.
might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle
Mm.
or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish.
Adrian, I need to go to you. You're about to be married, so this is a huge deal. What does this mean? What are you going to do to your future wife? How are you going to do this?
Well, and so like, on the topic of like, gender roles and stuff like that, if we're gonna be kind of like generalistic here, right? The one thing that always makes me sad, like my heart sad, is that like I see guys, right? I'm gonna pick on the male species a little bit, right? But you see guys who put in effort, like relentless effort, like in their cars, like washing,
Mhm,
waxing, super clean, you know. And
mhm.
even for the guys, if cars aren't your thing, like, you know, like your gaming system, right? Like, you know, Alex, you have your little multi-tool thing going
Yes,
on, right?
sir.
And that is cool, right? I'm all for it. I think it's super awesome. But then like it always makes me sad whenever I see guys who take so much care about these things, and yet like if you look at their relationships, or maybe they don't have one, maybe they've struggled to have relationships, and they just don't put in that same amount of like caring
Mhm,
towards, you know, their wives, right? And like maybe you see marriages struggling because like, you know, because I'm gonna pick on the guys, because it's like, you know, it starts with us, right? It starts with
mhm,
the leaders of the men, you know, in the household, right? If you I mean, you can tell me the all the specs of your car, the horsepower, the torque, the, you know, the rim size of your car, but you can't tell me, you know, your anniversary day, your wife's, you know, favorite dish when she's sick, that sort of
mhm.
thing. Like that just kind of shows me, you know, where your priorities lie. And it, you know, it's kind of like the old saying, it's like the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. And so yeah, like if your marriage is failing, if your relationship is failing, you know, it's like as if you know, don't pay attention to your car and skip an oil change. It's like, of course your car is going to break down.
Yep.
So if you don't pay attention to, you know, your marriage, your wife, your relationship, then yeah, of course it's going to break down. So it just always breaks my heart whenever I see men who reach out to me and they're like, oh man, like I'm having such a, you know, tough time with my relationship, and yet I see like how beautiful and like expensive their car is, and I'm like, bro, if you spent half the time you know, you spend waxing your car into your relationship, I think it'd be a different story.
It's not just that, man. I want to step in here. I think number one, like you know, I'll ask you, John. What if we are buying a Lamborghini? Really, like legitimately, are we buying it for ourselves, or who are we buying it for?
We're
Right?
buying it for other people to see us in a Lamborghini.
Exactly. Specifically, what in our case as males, females,
Status. Oh well,
females,
yeah,
right?
female
We
status.
want we
True.
want them to watch and go, hey, I won that, right? And
Mhm.
we want to be able to provide this kind of status to them. They, on the other hand, you know, get all pretty and all this, right, and makeup and all that. Who do they do it for? Do they do it for us guys? No, bro. They do it because it's other girls that are out there criticizing them and stuff like that. And so it's so twisted how the world is now. You know,
Mhm.
here's the guy doing all this stuff for her, and then she doesn't do anything for the guys, but expects everything, right? And I've seen all these interviews online of girls that go ahead like, "Hey, I want a, a husband that is committed to me, that gives me a house, that I can be a stay at home mom and this stuff." And then the guys always ask the girls like, "Okay, what are you gonna give us? Like this? Like what? Your body, sex, and that's it? What a shallow." Way to think relationships, and to be honest, that's where we're at today, man. Girls want to be
Mhm.
taken care of in exchange for sex or for their body or whatever the case may be, and that it's transactional, right? It's not
Mhm.
relationship, it's transactional, and it's super duper sad. um the lack of God on anything, bro, is what makes this happen. It's as
Yes,
simple as that.
that's
if
exactly
god
right.
if God is not involved, it's
Mhm.
gonna, you know, relationships, whether it's husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, just friendships, work relationships, everything, just it's different.
Mhm.
And I dare to say that it'll always crumble down if God is not present.
Yep.
That's the way that I put it.
Yep.
So I totally agree with you, Adrian. I just want to kind of piggyback right on that.
He
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
something that this is talking about here is that God shows us love and God
Hmm.
gives us an example of how to love others, right?
Hmm.
Well, think about all the men in the world that whether you're in a relationship like in Christian or not, right? If you're not actively in relationship with God, what example are you going off of, right? First of all.
Hmm.
Second of all, who is giving you love to give, right? Because you can't keep pouring out without receiving,
Hmm.
right? Like it has to flow naturally. And so that's, I mean, I think that's exactly what you were saying, Leader, which is without a relationship with God, you don't have an example of how to love and you don't
Yep.
have that active flow of love to show to other people, right? So that's why we see so many men in the world, they're like, well, I don't have anyone to support me, right? Like,
Hmm.
I don't have people to talk to or rely on, right? And that's because that's you're looking for a Christ relationship, but they're
Mhm.
looking for that in their spouse instead.
People say, right, there's this saying in the world that says, hey man, you understand and figure out how to build a castle, then build it, then have a spouse or wife to come over and decorate it, right? I think I was like, okay, that's a smart way of think. But again, if God is, if you didn't put God first as the foundation of that castle, you just
Mhm.
build on the sand, bro. First tsunami is gonna come over and your castle is gone, bro. You know what I mean? Doesn't even need a tsunami, just a heavy downpour,
Yep.
and it's over, man. So anyway, enough of that. Um, verse 22 though. Let's talk about the wives a little bit.
Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord.
Why I need to ask you guys, why is submission like a negative thing nowadays? You know, how's why is it even bad? I don't get it. Do you guys get it? I don't get it.
I think it is found rooted in current culture is I want to glorify myself and I want to fulfill my own desires.
Mm-hmm.
And the root of submission
Selfishness, right?
is to die to yourself
Mm,
for someone else's
mm-hmm.
ambitions and someone else's objectives, right? And so our objective is husbands is to submit ourselves to Christ, right? So die to ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and live for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And in this specific situation here, I mean, women do the same thing with Christ, but wives are supposed to die to themselves and live for their husbands in this situation.
Bro, seriously, Adrian, you're gonna say something now, so you're really getting into this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean that John seriously said what I was about to say. Like the whole submission thing is purely out of selfishness, where we're in a me first culture, like my truth, which literally like makes no sense. Every time I hear someone's like, "Oh, well, that's my truth," and I'm like, "But don't you want the truth?"
Yep.
Like I'm so
Yep.
confused, right? So it's like my truth. This is my situation, what I want, and me, and yeah, like we try to be our own gods, and I mean we barely we struggle to wake up in the mornings, let alone be our own god. So good luck with that, trying to figure out life on your own.
Yep.
So
I need to add into that. In my opinion, honestly, bro, I think what people don't realize is the husband submits a tremendously amount to the relationship, not specifically to the wife, but to the relationship. For instance, ask any man that if he
Mm-hmm.
would want to work forever just to you for you to provide to your wife. I want to say I much rather be playing video games all the time, but I'm submitting and committing to this relationship out of love for the wife, right? And I think that we omit to talk about that. I think that the man is actually very submissive, especially in a God-driven relationship, because like John said, you're submitting yourself first to God more so than anything,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that that's the most important piece of this puzzle, making it happen, and all that is through love. So I almost would like to have read this passage differently, where it says, wives, submit to your husband and to the Lord, and husbands, submit first to the Lord as Christ has loved the church first, right? Or something like that. And I think it would have been understand a little bit better. I just don't I wouldn't even know if translation kind of misses this, but I think that's the whole point, in my opinion.
I think the funniest thing in this, and I always have to point it out because people always point it out to me. It
Hmm.
says husband love your wives, but it says wives submit to your husband, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
tell wives to love their husbands,
Hmm.
right? Women have no command from God to love their husbands.
Hmm.
And if we really truly understand love, like what it genuinely is,
Hmm.
there's a lot of sacrifice and kind of what you were saying. There's a lot of submission
Hmm.
and sacrifice, right? There's a lot
Hmm.
of denying your own desires to right forgiving. Love does not hold a grudge, right? Like there's a
Hmm.
lot of components of love that have submission in them, but it's beyond that in a way, right? And so a wife is not going to be able to submit to her husband if a husband is not loving her properly.
Yep.
But that being said, it doesn't say that women have to love their husbands, just submit.
Yep. I think in how we title this in our notes is literally submission is part of love. So
Mhm.
hence why this came into our love series, because we understand being given by God in this particular scenario, submission is a very good form of love, and I think they go hand in hand, and I think they bring a lot of success to a relationship. What's up, Kevin?
Kevin?
Bro? Let's go, bro. Thank you for stopping by, man. By the way, if y'all are in chat, say hi. Travis said hi, by the way. Travis, I'm getting to your message. Hey, fam, if you need prayers, let us know. We'd love to pray for you and your family. Come to Discord and meet us and come up and pray with us. The Discord is right there. You guys can come over and join and talk with us later. Travis will be there. This happens, by the way, every single time after a show. We'll get together, people come and go, and we get to talk and we get to share a little bit more of one another, love one another, and pray for one another, which is always amazing. Open to everybody. We had all kinds of people. We have kids, girls, women, wives, older guys, Demon Stumper, for instance, which is an amazing leader in the church. And so you guys come over and stop by and say hi. Okay. I think it's good. Yeah.
But before we move on, I just want to
Okay.
mention like the verse before, verse 21 in
Yep.
Ephesians 5.
Yep.
It says submit to each other out of reverence for the Lord, for the Messiah. Right. So there
Mhm.
is equal submission.
Yep.
So I just wanted to point that out.
And it's interesting, right? Because it's all about submitting to
Mhm.
the Messiah, not
Well,
even
out of-
like
well, no, to
to each other out of reverence to the Messiah,
Right.
which is really amazing. Absolutely. Way to go, Mr. Context guy. Okay. Let's move on. First Peter. Chapter 3, verse 7.
7.
Boom, 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 boom. Hold on, let me get us there because we're not there. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's a chopper. Oh, ra-pa-pa-pa-pa. We're there. Let's go.
Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way.
Ay,
Show
ay, ay.
honor to the women as the weaker vessel,
Ay,
since
ay,
they
ay.
are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered.
Ay, ay, ay. If we're gonna read a controversial verse,
It's the weaker vessels that always gets me every time.
bro, listen, bro. Okay, hear me out. Let's be real here. Let's the three of us pretend right now that we're women, and that we are the president of our own country, and we're going in a war, and we have to make a choice. Do we send 20,000 women to battle? Or do we send 20,000 men to battle? Given the fact that both have been trained equally and they have the same guns and same ammunition, same everything, what do we send, bro? Right? And I think this is, yeah.
Honestly, leader, I would
Yeah.
I would send your wife because like I
Oh,
just
yeah,
saw her
she-
PR
Oh,
325 deadlift.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
bro.
So it's funny that
She's
we're talking
got
about the weaker vessel or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm pretty sure I would put money on Sarah against
Oh,
leader. In a fight any day.
100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%. I think this is more the general thought of it, right? I mean, genuine question.
know,
bro.
I understand.
What would you do? What would you do? I mean, I think if we were to ask any women, I mean, only the women that have really huge ego that really are not logical to think. I mean, is your wife there, John?
She is. So
Okay.
well, and before I ask her opinion on it, so if we look at history or even what's going on in Ukraine, right? So
Mhm.
first thing that they did, women and children, you need to leave, and the
Mhm.
men are going to stay and fight, right?
Yep.
There is across the board, every culture, the complete and total understanding that if something like what's going on in Ukraine is going on,
Yep.
the men stay and fight, and the women leave to
Yep.
go live somewhere else. Okay.
Yep.
The objective is men protect the women, right?
Yep.
All across history, that's been the format. Okay. Now,
Yep.
there have been situations where women go into battle and whatnot, right? But they decide that and they choose that.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with a woman having the ability to choose that, right? But
Mhm.
across the board, I mean, I said what I have to say. You know what I mean? And so I think that's kind of a part of what it's talking about here is there's human understandings and objectives that we fulfill and things that we do just inherently. You know what I mean?
And I think
So-
that's the huge point, right? I don't mean to say, woman, you suck at fighting.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what goes back to my main point at the beginning of this show. It was we both have different roles to play,
Mhm.
right? And that doesn't make one better or above than the other. Women were created out of our ribs, bro, right next to us. They're supposed to be right here, the same, bro. Not from the head to be above us, not from the feet to be below us, right next to us to be embracing us. So when I give this kind of examples, it's not to go, hey, women, y'all suck. Not by any means. Actually, you're so much better in a bazillion different things than we are, and much, much better. I think we just complement each other very well. Oh, yeah, I did want to ask. So thank you, John. I want to ask Lauren that question. It's like, hey, Lauren, you're the president of the president of your country. You're going into war. Is she listening?
She is.
Okay, okay, okay. You're going into war, right? And you have to make a decision of whether what to send, right? Under the same circumstances, you send 20,000 men to war, and you send 20,000 women to war, assuming that they're both having trained the exact same amount of time. They have the same weapons, the same tanks, whatever you may call it. What would you send, Lauren, as the president of your country? So that's a question. Because I guarantee you guys that 98% of the women that don't take this emotionally would answer yeah, of course. I'm thinking the same way, right? I will send them in. Now, again, the whole point is not women are less. It's just men are made for different things, and so are women, right? And it's amazing. I think it's one of the greatest, almost like miracles of life, and one of the greatest miracles of his creation is how amazing, through love for one another, we complement each other, bro. Because I wouldn't be able to keep my household. So back to the castle example, right? I can defend the crap out of the castle, bro. Nobody's coming to the castle. But when you walk in my castle, there'll be trash everywhere. The clothes will be on the floor everywhere, right? It'll be dirty. It'll be messy. It wouldn't be taken care of, right? And so it's something that I cannot do. Now, is defending the castle just as important as keeping the castle straight up? I 100% agree. Like, me defending the castle doesn't make any better or makes me bigger or whatever you want to call it than keeping the castle maintained, right? And keep it in good standing, ready to roll, in good shape, right? It's the same, bro. It's the same. So that not because we're different and we get to fulfill different roles makes us higher than the other. No, we're just made perfect for one another through his love and through him as the centerpiece.
Creating
So,
a complete being.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
had my childhood pastor, Mr. Pastor Vanderkay. He was
Shout out to you,
awesome.
Pastor Vanderkay.
Yes, sir. He was great. I miss him. He's still alive. Sorry, he's not dead. I might seem like he was dead. He's not dead. He's alive. He's fine. I think, actually. I should check up. Anyway, he was in the Coast Guard, right? And so a lot of his examples were like nautical themed.
Mhm.
And my favorite visualization, I guess you could say, that he came up with was when you're sitting on the top of the boat in the basket, right, to look on the horizon,
Mhm.
right? You can only see this,
Yep.
right? You can only
Yep.
see half of the horizon, right?
Mhm.
And so when you get married, you are standing back to back, and that enables you to see 360 degrees all the way around you, right? So nothing's going to surprise you. There's no enemy that can come at you from any direction that you working together won't see. Right.
Mm.
And so he used that as an example of him and his wife, right? It's the same thing, right? Us back to back
Mm.
have a complete view, and it enables us to live as a whole being together
Mm.
properly in the design that God has for us, right?
Oof.
So by yourself, you're living half of God's design, I would say. If your objective is to get married, or you have to get married, right?
Yeah.
And living with your wife in God's design is living as a complete being in God's design.
Yeah. Oh, huge amen to that. Here, shout out to you, Pastor. What's his name? Pastor what?
Vanderkay.
Vanderkay. Shout out to you. Great example. Kevin has a really good point. God has made men to lead and protect and love their wives. The main reason it's controversial, in my opinion, is when that gift is misused in our sin as men. 100%. And we're so freaking good at it. Satan has done such a good job at being able to manipulate this and make us completely vomit on our gifts and ruin everything that we go over. We guys suck. We are terrible. But imagine a perfect man, joy to follow. I would agree, man. I would 100% agree. And spiritually speaking, God is the husband, the wife is the church, right? God, the husband, God will always be perfect. And the church is what gets married to God, right? Which is amazing. So 100% agree.
I also don't think there's a single person in the church that would ever complain that God is not loving them properly, right? Like
I've heard that too, though, bro.
You have? Really?
Yeah, yeah. People say, I guess in the sense of a spectrum of amount of love, I heard that complaint. Like God loves you more than He loves me.
Interesting.
But we're emotional beings, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just experience, probably.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, back to finishing dissecting this verse. Honor them as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life. Oh my God, bro. Right? They're gonna bring your children, our children, into this world. They're the heirs of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing may interfere with your prayers. It's amazing how it's all about the creation and the progress of creation, which is to to procreate and be heirs of what's been given to us by God through His love and His grace and His creation, and to be able to pass it on. So, really amazing verse, guys. It's just controversial from that point. I think Kevin hit a nail by saying that, right? We really vomit in our gifts, in our responsibilities, and we just twist them so bad, and we take advantage of them. That makes us look bad. I'm included. So I'm not gonna excuse myself there. Been there, done that. Anyway, we go for this. Adrian, you still quiet on that one? It was good.
Yeah.
We
No,
kind of
that's good.
nailed it. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Last verse that we gotta read: Colossians.
Colossians.
Second
Don't
favorite
forget
book of
to
the Bible.
apply your Colossian.
Yeah,
Every night.
Sir.
Colossians 18. Sorry, 3, 18, and 19, sir.
18 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
Wives, submit to your husbands as it is fitting in the Lord. Husbands,
Mhm.
love your wives and do not be harsh with them.
That I am not good at, bro. Listen, fam, I'm a tennis person, right? I like to coach people, right? And it's a passion of mine. Loved helping people. And Adrian has seen it firsthand. I had tremendous passion for it. Love to do it to Adrian, to professional players, to anybody and anybody. Okay, love it, enjoyed it. But when it comes down to the wife, bro, God, I need your mercy and love and all the things because I just cannot do it, bro. I destroy her. If she doesn't cry and we're not ready to go to like a judge and get divorced, it's because she absolutely adores me, bro. I don't deserve her when I coach her. So hence I'm gonna coach her. Having said that, it's not just in coaching. I feel like there's some places where that we were talking about earlier, Kevin, it gets in the way, like feeling that you're a leader and that you don't need her or things gotta be done your way. Otherwise, it's absolutely utterly wrong. And think or business, right? When we talk about business, oh my goodness, I can be very, very harsh, totally anti-biblical. Pray for me, fam. Gotta be a better husband. So let's dissect this a little bit. Um, I love how, first of all, thoughts on the fact that the Bible is very um consistent, right? This is almost like a repeat from last verses that we read, right? How about that to begin with? Let's talk a little bit about that. Do you guys feel like
I
it's
mean, these are all letters from Paul.
yes? But how
Well,
easy
Peter
would it be?
wasn't.
But how easy would it been for me to depending on the circumstances to change my mind, right? I could say this president was so much better than that president, and 10 years in a row, go, whoops, never mind. This is actually better, and that sucked. Or circumstances changes, man. This is not written at the same time. I love how God can bring consistency to His word. Goes one after the other. And by the way, we could have read this in the Old Testament, would have been the same, bro. I mean, same. Genesis is the same about marriage, right? And that is thousands of years apart. So I love that. But second, are you guys with me with this? But do you, John? I mean, you're the married one here. Do you struggle with this? Like, are you harsh with her?
I so when we first got married, I realized how, I mean, I don't want to say fragile, right? But my words weigh a lot, right? And
Okay,
she cares deeply about my viewpoint of her and the things that I have to say about her, right?
like
And so,
opinions.
yeah,
Okay,
opinions, just anything, right?
sure.
Like if ultimately she is amazing, literally the greatest wife ever. You guys can say your wives are awesome, but mine is obviously literally the greatest.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Um, so she will give me grace sometimes when I'm harsh with her. But sometimes I'm just too much. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
just everything piles up in the wrong way, and
Mhm.
I say something I shouldn't say, and I break that fragile, beautiful woman that I live with and adore, and then I have to try to fix it all day. And that's my objective for the day, is to love her and try to fix the terrible, terrible things that I do. You know what I mean? And so it helps me be patient, right? It helps me try to be as loving as possible with her. But, I'm a sinful, messed up person, just like anyone else. You know what I mean? So it's impossible not to hurt those around me, especially my wife, the person who loves me the most in this world, other than Christ, obviously.
Kevin says, I definitely struggle with this one. Not being defensive, speaking harshly. Yeah, oof. Gotta improve in being sweet with her, even when I'm flustered or I disagree about something. And to remember we're on the same team. Satan is the one who's trying to divide us. Kevin, you're the man, bro. Like, but you should be in the show.
He should be in the show. We should get him in here, bro.
Bro,
Take my spot.
he's been
Since I'm never
he's
here.
been on the show a couple times, I think, at least one time.
Yeah.
And it was really great. Yeah, I agree. I mean, first of all, we're sinners by nature, just as a given, right? Second of all, I think we live in a world where Satan has done a very, very good job at destroying what a family should look like, what dating should look like, what relationships should look like. And it's so twisted up in our heads now that it becomes a thing where we can literally affect in a very negative way our marriages, even as Christians, just because of the culture that we live in. And we shouldn't justify that. We should love our wives dearly, treat them in a perfect way, no matter what the world has to offer, no matter what the world is giving to us, or what the world paints to be a good, loving family, or whatever the thing is. Still, the world's man and the world is Satan's, and we do not belong here. So, loving like God has loved us, I think, is the greatest thing of them all, right? He truly, if we could just do a little bit of that every single day, it would be so different. We're just so bad people, bro. I mean, as a Christian, even now, I feel like I cannot wait to the moment that we get to his presence and he'll be finally perfect, bro. Right? Finally perfect. So, anyway, that's my final thoughts. Actually, I want to use that as final thoughts. Oh, was that Percy in the back?
No, that's
Or
Kai.
who's that? Oh, that's Kai.
That's the diabetic.
Oh,
one.
that's okay. Insulin guy. Every night. Boom. Oh. We're snaking the wife too. The back of the wife.
The back of your head is ridiculous.
Her stream finally caught up.
I was wondering if we were about to get Will Smith smacked today.
100%. 100%.
So those are my final thoughts, fam. Adrian, you got any final thoughts today about this? Welcome back, by the way, bro. Hope we get to see you every week. We love you and we miss you.
I want to be here every single week. I really do. It's just, God and his plans for me and my life right now is pulling me in different directions. And not that, I don't think he wants me to not be here. It's just,
he wants it to be somewhere else at this time. That's how it works.
But as far as like final thoughts for today, like again, like I'm gonna just give another shout out to Kevin, because nailing it on the head right there. Like for me, my biggest struggle, and Mallory will 100% agree with this, is that in our arguments, which is natural, right? Two human beings, both sinners and both, with, maybe selfish, whatever. But like I always, because I've been in sales for so long, right? And I'm just kind of like used to, not like, I don't want to say like winning arguments, but like, I don't know, maybe it's my male ego, whatever it is. But like, she constantly has to remind me that we're on the same team.
Yeah.
Like that we're, whenever even if we're arguing about something, it's about, going in a certain direction that's either going to benefit us, our relationship, the direction that we're going in. And she's like she just has to remind me she gives me so much grace because I get so passionate, right? Like you can hear, and in the way I talk, in the way I speak. And yeah, so imagine that, but with like a heated debate about something. So it's like 10 times worse. And then she just has to like remind me in the fit of like fluster that I'm in. She's like, remember, like, I'm on your side.
Mhm.
We're on the same team. Like, we're just trying to
Mhm.
figure this out. And I'm like, right, you know what, baby? Like, you're right. Like, this is, I gotta not be so over dramatic. I gotta, just do my thing and just remember that, like, love and grace, and that, and I am very blessed, and I'm sure you guys can, talk about your significant others in the same way, but I'm blessed that she shows me so much grace. And like Leader said, like and Mallory hates whenever I say like I don't deserve her, because she absolutely hates that. But like I don't, and if she hears me, that's I might get a word about it later. But yeah, like she does submit to me in the biblical sense, and I try my best to shower her with holiness and take care of her as Christ loves the church. And so I just I try to be an example. Like I have so many strong Christian men in my life that show me what the true Christian love is for their significant other. And so like as I'm in my marriage prep, I'm trying to emulate that same love to my future wife.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Adrian. John, final thoughts for you, baby. What you got?
My grandparents were at a dinner table once when I was like 14 or 15, and my grandfather kept leaning over and pinching my grandmother, and she was like, "Richard, stop it." And I asked him in that moment, I realized they don't fight a whole lot, and I was like, "Why don't you guys ever fight?" And my grandmother looked me dead in the face and said, "It's not worth it. It requires so much energy to fight over little
For no
dumb
reason.
things
Yeah.
that it's just not worth it. Like, I'm too old to put that much energy into literally anything."
Yeah.
And so me and Lauren will fight about dumb things, but we try to be respectful. We don't call each other names or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a person that I value more than anybody else, so I need to treat them with the value that I place above everybody else. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So we'll discuss things and disagree. We disagree all the time and we fight, but we don't yell. We don't call each other names. We ironically call each other dumb. That's fun, but it's kind of just like Lauren hates me and she wants to say it. So, it's always her fault. She's always wrong in everything.
Notice, you guys, how there's a dead stare happening across the room here.
I'm watching her eyebrows. I can tell from her left eyebrow if she's angry or not, and she's giving me a smiling eyebrow right now. Yeah, it's a system. It works, I think.
Well, fam, there you have it. We love you guys tremendously. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for all the viewers. You guys are awesome. Kevin, Travis, Kyle, all of you guys that stopped by, said hi. The ones that you didn't, thank you so much for checking us out. This is Bible Talk. God permitting, we'll be here next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time, same place, same time. We love you, and we'll see you guys then. See ya. The Bible Talk Wednesday.
This is Bible Talk. With your host, Leader, the only one.
Your first loser.
I am closer to be better, to be the best, okay? So cut me some slack.
John Fumbly.
Bubba Fett. Attack mode?
Yep, I see that.
Attack mode?
Yep,
Attack mode?
yep.
I'm in attack mode right now.
Adrian A.I. Indelos.
I'm a man. I fix things, cook barbecue, and fix things.
This is Bible Talk.